And we are live.
They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet because they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
So got it. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. I know. It's like,
wait.
I know, right? We got to figure this out. We're not normally.
Look that.
We have to look at their side.
This is a new camera setup for us. What's good is that you can really see how oily my skin is.
I know.
But he was David and James were setting this up for 3 hours, and you were like, perfect. Now the light.
I know. Well, now I'm like, oh, well, I didn't have a stand-in, Seth. You weren't here.
You look horrific.
Oh my! You know what?
What?
It's okay to look horrific.
We are here for Stars in the House, which we began as a fundraiser for the Actors Fund, which is now called the Entertainment Community Fund. And as everything does change, you know, our cohort who was here with us the entire time, our sweet doggy Mandy, has passed away, and we are trying to have the show without having our own public breakdown. And we want to raise money. Oh, he's drinking his water. Bagel's right next to us. We're going to raise money for the animal. It used to be called the
It's Animal Care Centers in New York City.
Right, Animal Care Center in New York City, which is the new name. It's called Animal Care and Control is what it was called. That's called the Animal Care Center, from where we adopted Mandy and Bagel, who's right there. So we know we have 1 million comments already, which is great.
Guess what? I'm gonna sit on the pillow.
Yeah. So to start, you can start donating right now. And David, it's the same system for, there we go. Visit starsnows.com. You click the button. It'll go right to Animal Care Center donations. And then you can forward your donation receipts, and we'll also be reading them. I may be doing the reading because James is on the emotional side right now.
Yeah. And so here's the system that we came up with. And I may end up having to do the pictures because we have a mouse. It's just, this is how we roll. It's all sort of, see here you Seth.
Well, you're holding the side of it?
I'm holding it, yeah.
Okay, I've never used the mouse before. I'm so Generation Z, whatever it's called.
No, you're not. Are you?
No, I'm like Generation A. I'm 1,000. Okay, all right, go on.
So yes, we've raised $1.2 million. He literally went to leave site. Well, you know, the good news is I guess things never change about Stars in the House.
Oh my God.
David, if you were here, you'd be having the breakdown.
Okay, how do I, there we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Krieger is on here, Mandy's oncologist, and she's probably thinking, you guys did over 500 shows and raised about $2 million for charities? You gotta be kidding me. Yes, we did, Dr. Krieger. It's shocking, but we did. She's laughing backstage. No. For those of you like Dr. Krieger who are here for the first time, as Seth said, we started Stars in the House right when lockdown began. But when I was sending this email to Dr. Krieger, who you'll meet in about a half hour, I was describing what Stars in the House is. And all of you who are the Sith Core fam, the Core family, that's our dedicated fans.
Sith is Stars in the House. It sounds like Seth, but it's Sith, and they call themselves the Sith Core fam, even though I have no core strength because my Pilates skills horrific. Continue.
But the show is about hope, education, awareness, and raising money for worthy charities. And so, as Seth said, tonight, all donations are in Mandy's memory. They go to ACC, and of course, we don't have tissues down here. So how about that for a show where we most likely will be crying? Okay. We also wanted you to learn about what Mandy had because, and I'll Dr. Krieger talk about that in more detail because it was really shocking. And we were told Mandy would have 3 days, and she had 3 months and 3 days. And 3 months, as I realized the day that Mandy passed, is a season. And so we had an entire season with her, and a lot can happen in a season. As we know in the United States, a lot can happen in 2 weeks, as we've known over the last couple of weeks. And I really... I kind of looked at while we were doing Stars in the House in the beginning, and people were in lockdown, and those who worked from home were at home doing projects they'd put off forever. And of course, we were doing Stars in the House twice a day, every day. I kind of looked at the last couple of months as my time to do those sort of long time projects, and with Mandy here. And so that's why those of you who went on Seth's Big Fat Broadway cruise, I wasn't there.
Right. We didn't really say.
We didn't say because we really did think that this week would be the last until. Wait. I mean, I'm sorry, each day that went by or each week in the beginning, we really didn't know. It really wasn't until we met Dr. Krieger at Red Bank Veterinary Hospital, who you'll meet soon, where we actually had hope that not that she would live for years, but that we would have more than just a couple of days. So I think, Seth, do we want to?
This is what I would like to do.
Yeah, because we haven't talked about it.
I think I want to talk a little bit about adopting Mandy and then go to our animal care center person.
Sure.
So to the beginning.
Let's do it.
So we've been doing separate stuff, like pictures, but so I want to first say, so I adopted a doggy. My first dog I ever really adopted, that was like my own with my ex-boyfriend, Aaron, named Maggie. So
you know what, David,
hold on, let me do it.
Okay.
I'm going to do it from here.
The whole thing may collapse.
So this is Maggie. The doggy that I adopted from Bite Away. So we adopted Sweet Maggie, and James met me when she was around 6 years old, and she lived a great life till she was 14. And the first thing I want to say is that she passed away because of cancer. And it was definitely very expensive to get her treatment. And after she passed away, James said, why don't we get insurance? And I was like, insurance sounds like a scam. But turns out you were really smart. And what was the insurance we got, which has saved our life?
We're not, this is not an paid endorsement. And there are a lot out there, and maybe there are others that are just as good. We use Trupanion. But the bottom line is that after that, we didn't want to hear again in the future with another dog, everything based on finances.
Yeah.
You know, can you afford this? Or maybe you shouldn't get the ultrasound. We didn't. It's already, those of you who are pet lovers, whether your dog or cat.
Yeah, by the way, this is just the one. We're not going to pay. Maybe there are other great ones. And I want to say, I'm sorry to interrupt, but when Maggie passed away, Trupanion sent us like a handwritten letter. It was they've been just great. But go on, what are you going to say about them? Sorry.
No, it was just we didn't want to have to deal with that again. And true to form, that's what happened, and we didn't have to worry about it because they paid 90% of the bill. So
Maggie passed away, and we still had some other dogs. James's mom is probably as psycho of a dog lover as I am. She had 1 million dogs, and we wound up having her dogs. Well, your dog Sonora moved in, and Scooby moved in. So I didn't want to get another dog because I really was traumatized after Maggie passed away, and I knew that I would, but it was just too painful. So we had Sonora and Scooby, and let's show a little picture of. I'll show you right now. So this is Sweet Scooby, and by the way, Julie named two of the dogs.
Julie's our daughter.
Our daughter. So she named Mary, which was one of the only dog names that she knew at the time, and of course Scooby. But by the way, Scooby was not a boy. Scooby was a girl. So her full name was Ms. in S period. Scooby Hendricks.
That's right.
So anyway, so Scooby passed away, and I was away, and James.
Julie and Seth were away. He had a job with Playbill Travel. I know. We're just going to have to deal with the.
I'm going to do this.
It's just be really careful.
I'm not going to touch anything. Yeah.
I know because
yeah.
But they were away because Seth had a job and Julie was there, and I stayed here, and we had a vet come to put Scooby to sleep. But it was so horrific that I knew that I would be spiraling into a deep depression if we didn't adopt another dog like immediately.
So a couple days later, this is another thing everyone should do. If you go to ACC Animal Care Center,
if you're here in New York,
they have. Well, probably you could also do it anywhere.
I'm sure every city in the country now
has these. They're apps, and it's kind of like Match.com, and you can look at all the different doggies that are available. So James went to Match.com/the ACC app and saw this picture of Mandy, which we can't find. We're so frustrated. It was really cute. She had a little bandana on, and she was smiling, and it was maybe a couple days after Scooby passed away, and he said, "Do you think we should adopt this dog?" And I was like, I'm obsessed with dogs anyway, and it was kind of to replace Maggie. It was going to be the first dog that I was going to finally get to replace Maggie, but also to deal with your pain. So we went to Animal Care Center, and it was me, James's mom, Elizabeth, Julie, and we met Mandy in the hallway. And I'm not going to say she was the dud, but she was a dud. So she was just sort of she was just sort of hey. And I was like, hey, okay. So we didn't realize that being in the hallway, not kind of a safe space for her, she was just kind of shy. And then we got her into a room, and holy cow, I'm going to show you. I'm not going to make this collapse. Don't worry, honey. This is what Mandy was like.
It was right there at the top, Seth.
No, I'm going to do this.
Are you going to do another one?
This is what Mandy was like when she got into the room. So she was a dud in the hallway, but then take a gander, hold on, I have it right here. It's called adoption, but it's not in order.
Those are all videos.
I know, yeah. That's what I have.
Okay.
Hold on, there it is. So this is what Mandy, so after being a dud, this is what Mandy was like as soon as we were all alone.
Yes, Jack Russell.
Oh, yeah.
That explains it.
Jack Russell, a little bit of Pitt.
Oh, wow, look at this. She's playing with the toys.
Yeah, she's very puppy.
Wow. Yeah.
So is mine. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's something.
Well, I knew.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, so she de-dudified, and
Yes, she did.
here are some of the cute photos that we have. This is her just going crazy, giving James kisses, giving me kisses, and then we did a family photo. And by the way, it is good to know that, dogs are different, and that if we just seen her in the hallway, it would have been like yawn, but she's a wild child. So by that night, like I said, Mandy was adopted, quote unquote, from me in a sense, but by that night, there was a new best friend, and that's James and Mandy watching TV together. And thus began an equal, really, and then I'm gonna shut it down, but Mandy was truly only happy when she was with both of us. And it sounds, there's an Onion article, The Onion, which we're obsessed with. It's like, woman thinks cat misses her on vacation. And it's really like this delusional woman. She's like, I had to cut my vacation short by 2 days. Like, it's not delusional. Mandy really was equally obsessed with both of us. And this is, I love this picture because she really had to get both of her, quote unquote, licks in when we're together. So this is me and Mandy, and it's called Equal. Hold on, I'm sorry. There it is. So it's either that, and then 1 second later, that. She just had to be loving us both.
That is true.
Or else she wasn't happy. So I'm going to just continue a little bit more about the adoption, and I'm going to go to ACC. So Jimmy, the last thing I'll say is that she got very comfortable at our place, as you can see. And by the way, thus began my obsession with posting photos of her sleeping. My Aunt Phyllis was like, is Mandy always sleeping? She's not. She just was so cute whenever she slept. So within minutes, she was very comfortable. This is her. This is her. Look at that sweet angel. This is her. And she loved to not just sleep by herself, she loved to sleep with all of us. So this is James and Mandy having a nice nappy poo. This isn't just like, for a second, because I have to say, as much as I loved Maggie didn't, like, as soon as you would be near her, she'd be like, oh, scratch me, pet me, and she'd start moving. Mandy was like, I'm sleeping and I'm snuggling, and she just would not move. So this is you two sleeping together. This is Julie.
Oh.
And this is me.
Her paws are like right around your head.
Yeah. And if you think she's being, quote unquote, aggressive or violent with me, she's not. But the final thing I'll say in terms of her inappropriate violence is of course, she's adopted, so we don't know when she was born, but she was around 10 months old. So we said, well, she's probably born in February because it was December when we adopted her. So we kind of decided, let's make it on my birthday, February 28th. So that became her birthday. And we were in bed, and James made a joke. Like, I can't remember. It was like, oh, Mandy, Seth is giving you his birthday because he's trying to love you more. I don't know what it was, but within 1 second, Mandy was like, really? Playing with James to scratch
the cornea.
And if you know, it's supposed to be kidney stones, cornea scratch.
Yes.
The most painful. And this picture is disgusting, but I thought I would just show you what poor James had to endure. Because
this is like Mandy had only been with us for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And we're not saying it's his karma for busting me, but he was like, Seth's a narcissist and scratch. She'd had it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Poor Jimmy.
That's right.
Okay. So now we are ready, I think.
Yeah.
Unless anything else.
Now let's bring on Paul Sanders from Animal Care Centers. And Paul, you have a very long title, so I'm going to leave it to you to let us know, and then we're going to read donations afterward. But David, can you bring on Paul Sanders? Hi, Paul.
Hello. Hi, James. Hi, Seth. Thank you for having us here. My title is Senior Administrator of Governmental and Community Affairs. So in a nutshell, I get to deal with elected officials and the public. I get to do a lot of different things for ACC.
So Paul, in when I was a kid, what ACC would have been called was the City Pound, which is probably like the common name that most people around the country have. And when you think of a City Pound, which I know ACC isn't, but you think of kill shelter, and that has such a like horrible connotation. Can you tell everyone like what the difference is between a kill shelter and a no kill shelter, and why, and go from there. We'll go from there.
Sure. So Animal Care Centers New York City is very proud to be at the qualifications that we could actually use the term no kill. But we don't use it because we don't like, comes from a negative place. So ACC has become a very progressive, nurturing organization over the years. So we don't feel that it is in the best interest of anyone in animal welfare to use that term. But over 90% of all of the animals that come into our care are placed and go to rescue groups or homes. And we take in over 20,000 animals annually in the city of New York. We only operate in the 5 boroughs. And over 90% of our animals are, put into wonderful homes and with our rescue partners and rescue groups.
And let me interrupt. When you say animals, it's not just dogs. It's dogs and kitty cats, but it's also
So rabbits, guinea pigs, and then we are an open admission shelter, meaning that if you have an animal that needs to come in, we will take it. So wildlife, ACC this year alone has taken in chinchillas, hedgehogs. In the last 12 months, we've taken in an alligator, pigs, you name it. New York City's animal population is just as diverse as its human population, and we are here for everyone.
And the whole thing about quote unquote kill shelters, there's a lot of haughty, we're a no kill shelter, but right. At one point, I had a kitty cat. It's a long story, but the point is, we had to give up this kitty cat, and every shelter was like, yes, sorry, no.
Every no kill shelter.
Every no kill shelter said no. So it's easy to be a no kill shelter when you don't accept animals, because you only have the animals that everybody wants. So it's not this amazing like Animal Care Center is evil and these other ones are amazing. It's just these other shelters say we're not going to be able to get this kitty cat or dog adopted, so we're going to reject it. Animal Care Center has to take every single animal that comes this way. And when you're donating tonight, you're donating to things like, I know for a fact, there's that new outdoor play area, right? That helps. So now animals can be socialized, right?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things that we do is we want to make sure we get the information on every animal, whether that's within behavior groups and play groups, or, being able to even sometimes not take animals in. We will take some of our funds to help with surrender prevention. We believe the best place that an animal would be is in the home with the people it knows and loves. So if it is something as simple as getting some supplies or some food or even some, medical care, we will do all we can to keep that animal in the home. Which is a change, going back to what you said, James. The City Pound back in the day didn't do that sort of stuff.
No,
but we do, and we are an open admission shelter, like I said. So we don't take anything in specifically by breed or medical condition or behavior. But a lot of those other groups do. You're right. But in order for us to be successful, we work very closely with those other groups as well. So when we get that gray 15-year-old cat, there's a group that takes that. Or, there is a dachshund that has no teeth left. We have a group that we know that can go to that. So, it all is very symbiotic and we all work together. Animal welfare, while we're different organizations, and we are the largest, one of the largest ones, not only in New York City, but in the entire Northeast United States, we all work together. We all play in the play yard well when it comes down to it.
And, a lot of people are like, oh, when you adopt, you don't know what you're getting. What I love about Animal Care Center is it'll say like, this dog is obsessed with food. This dog is a little annoyed if you try to take a toy. This dog is best with bigger dogs. Like it really does.
We had all that. We got all that when we adopted Mandy. Her name was Maya. and we changed it to Mandy because we figured it was close.
She was young
very
enough,
close.
and
Yeah,
we wanted, and in the Jewish tradition, we wanted to begin with an M, but Maya it sounded wrong in my mouth. Very Barbra Streisand. I didn't like it. It didn't feel good. And we go on.
So Mandy, but there were numerous sheets of everything that ACC knew, but also the results, I guess you can say, for lack of a better term, of the tests that you did of socialization and how she would, and if she can be with more in a more than one dog household, etc. It was so helpful
and thorough. And again, people do give up dogs because they say, I can't afford the food, and how wonderful that you say, we'll help you do it. And Bagel, which returned twice. So we're the third owners of Bagel, and it's probably because
that we know of.
That we know of, yeah. So I think it's because he peed in the house. But the thing is, so Paul, people can help ACCs. First of all, when they donate, the money will be going to help people not surrender their animals because people really do love their animals. But also, how can people help? Like fostering, I saw people walking dogs. What's it called? Like, what do you call it? There's like a sassy word for it. What is it called?
So we have our Burrow Break program.
Burrow Break.
People can come in for a few hours, take out a dog. Which goes right to what James was saying. Sometimes we don't get owner surrenders, but we get strays, and we know nothing about these animals. So when we do burrow breaks or somebody opens their home to be a foster, we're able to get a lot of really great information. And we know that a lot of our fosters can't be long-term forever homes, but they're giving us that information that we can then turn around and use. And as you said, can only be in this certain home, has this problem with food or this, and we can really narrow down those homes for it. One of the biggest things, and you both seem to have experienced this well, is that we coach our adopters. We let them know what is going to be an appropriate fit or not, because at the end of the day, we want to set everyone up for success, the animal as well as the new family. And family is a very subjective word too. A family for that animal might just be one single person. It might be a whole traditional family unit. It could be, extended family, grandparents, this, that, and the other things. So we want to make sure everyone is set up for success, as well as us, because we don't want the animal back. So, if we need to.
Okay.
I think that's great. Okay, so everyone, please keep donating.
Yeah, you can go to starsinthehouse.com to donate, and that'll take you directly to ACC. And if you want to send your receipt to forward it to donations to starsinthehouse.com, please feel free.
We'll read it, and anyone can show up at ACC or contact you about fostering or about doing the burrow break. Thank you so much, Paul. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And again, on behalf of everyone at ACC, we're so sorry for your loss, but thank you for doing this. And, we appreciate all your support.
We love ACC. Thank you, Paul. Before we bring on Dr. Krieger, can we do a little bit more and then?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I want to say, so it is very frustrating. I cannot tell you. Can I just vent for a second?
Yeah.
David and I worked for hours on this stupid mouse, and we can't do it. So and we're on the laptop, and if you touch that, whatever, the whole thing may die.
It's not going to though.
So because I want
to
something.
What does touch that mean?
If you touch this right
I'm
here,
not going to
because
the mouse pad's right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just be careful.
Sure.
I would love to. Before we bring on Dr. Krieger, we have these donations. We have a lot of donations I can see. But before we get to that, so that Dr. Krieger doesn't wait too long, I'd love to maybe show some of the fun clips.
Sure, I'd love that too.
Because Dr. Krieger did not know about, now this is where I'll start crying.
Okay.
But that's okay. We don't have to go to another clip. So the day Mandy died, we brought her to the emergency room at Red Bank Veterinary Hospital. And Mandy walked in. She was a strong dog. She walked in, but we had a feeling that the miracles had run out. It's okay. So we were in the emergency room, and we had hoped that Dr. Krieger would come down, but we didn't know. She's busy. She's an oncologist at the hospital, and she came down. And the proud dads that we are, we had to, as soon as she hugged us, she said how sorry and that it was time, and she had told us 2.5 months earlier, when we met her, I think May 10th, and this is July 26th, 2.5 months earlier, that she would tell us, and she did. But our being the proud dog dads that we are, we had to say, did you know that our dog, Mandy, was in the New York Times? And so we had her look online, There we go. There's the picture.
I mean, that is a full smile. We didn't even say Mandy smile. We're such stage parents. And it was during COVID, so we had to lean out. They couldn't come in our house to
come
take
into
a
the
photo.
house. Yeah.
So we leaned out.
So we did that. And then, of course, we showed her that Mandy was part of history because she was in the inauguration video for President Biden and Vice President Harris. And we showed her that. And we showed her the Georgia on My Mind video when it's me and Seth and Bagel, who's right over there, and Mandy. And we went into proud dad mode. So part of that, Dr. Krieger, this is for you before we bring you on. Seth, what do you want to show? You want to just? I don't know. I can't see which videos we have.
What is it? You talking about the?
You know what? Let's do it. So so I'll start at the beginning. Our very first show, we were like, we didn't know what the heck we were doing. And so we decided at the end of each show, we'd have Broadway stars, and then it turned into TV reunions and movie reunions and all sorts of reunions and game nights. But we decided that we would do Who Let the Dogs Out at the end. And Dr. John LaPook, who's the chief medical correspondent of CBS News.
And we did that because the dogs during the live stream, they'd be jealous. So we kind of kept them in a separate part of the house with James's mom. And then at the very end, we would let Dr. LaPook would let little Ash in, but we would let all four monsters into our place.
Yes. And you'll see that if you don't know Mateo, who's our dog that we adopted from Puerto Rico, he and Mandy have very similar coats. You might have to kind of look. But this was Mandy's very first appearance on Stars Now. Seth, it's down.
I know. I was just going to do 1 second up here. They look like
this
twins.
Is show you so you know the difference. There's Mandy and then there's Mateo. So you can see their coats are very, very similar.
I literally got my iPhone. Every time I put in Mandy photos, it kept showing me Mateo. It was very Eve Harrington understudy, but they're different doggies. They're different.
Very different.
Mandy has Mateo has an accent. Okay, I mean, hold on. Let's go. He's from Puerto Rico.
Yes.
So now I'm going to show you.
Yeah, you might want to take that off, that picture.
Why is it not? Oh, I have to go like this. I forgot how things work.
I know.
So this is our compilation video of quote unquote Who Let the Dogs Out.
Well, I think this may just be the first one, right, David? It's just like, I think it's just like.
David, you show, because the one says compilation. You don't want the compilation one?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, we can do the compilation. So this is that, and it's combined with a couple of days later, that Saturday matinee. We started on a Monday night, and we did it every show. And then this one was Audra and Will, and Audra and Will lost their dog Butler just a couple of months before Mandy died. And Dr. LaPook's dog Ash. But they're all there, and it's as I was texting with Dr. LaPook and Kate Lear, and it's like, and I showed them that, and it's such a beautiful memory. And as
Dr. Krieger has her dog in the background. I'm sorry. Hi.
Oh, and the other thing, Dr. Krieger, I didn't tell you that I'm bragging about Mandy is that she may be your only patient you ever have who is also archived in the Library of Congress because in their pandemic archives, and Mandy is in that too. So
that's
Seth,
right.
Or David, you want to hit it?
Honey,
you got it? Okay.
This is our compilation. Here, let me do this.
I got
it. Well, we got to let the dogs out, as we always do at the end of our show.
Well, but except our doggy during one of our... Oh, that's not the... hold on. David, where's the one... Does it end with... You can come on, David, if you want.
Well, we got to let the dogs out. Hold on.
Uh-oh. I know, you know what I mean?
I don't know what happened.
Do you want to upload it again?
It may be reversed. I think the order may be reversed. Let's play it, and yeah.
Well, we gotta let the dogs out, as we always do at the end of our show.
Well, but except our doggy during one of our dogs during the Olympics, so we're gonna gently.
You remember Ash?
Come on, Lucas. Come.
You know, Betty Lynn has.
Here's Lucas. Come, Lucas. Come on, Lucas. Come. Climb. Can you see Lucas?
Hey, Lucas. Whoops. Lucas, this is Ash.
That was Max the dog.
Oh, Betty's dog.
And also Diggity Dog, who we also lost as well, but they're still on the hearts.
Broadway Barks babies.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, everyone. Jeremy Jordan for our matinee, and the evening show is
Raul Esparza.
Family shot.
And Ellington.
Love y'all.
Just
amazing.
Be safe.
Well, be safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Goodbye to everybody. Come here. Come here.
Julie will be in full glam. Here's a little angel. Just
Come here. Oh, there's Butler. Oh, you want to say hi? Here, come here.
And don't forget, tomorrow at 9 o'clock, CBS Sunday Morning, you guys are on.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my God, there's Ruby Stanley.
Featured stars in the house.
Hi, Peace. How you looking? Peace.
Hi,
Hi, Ash.
Who's those on?
Right. Oh, so many kisses. Aw, that's sweet.
Oh my God, I've never seen more Tony winners on one screen.
I know. All right. So so Dr. Krieger, you get the idea.
Let's. So I do want to talk a little bit more about Mandy before we bring in Dr. Krieger.
Absolutely.
So let me just do a little bit more, and then after Dr. Krieger's section, which is going to be a little bit on the depressing side. There's going to be some really fun.
We have a lot
comedy
of
coming
fun.
up, too.
Yes.
So let me just go back to this. So Sweet Mandy moved in, and I just made a little compilation of different stuff. So first of all, she became really good friends with our other dog, Sonora.
Yeah.
And she allowed Sonora to be the alpha.
Yes, she did.
So this
and
is
Sonora was born a couple of months before Julie was born. So Mandy was a continuation for Julie.
So this is, just so you know, so that's Mandy and Sonora on the same couch being friends.
Yes.
Then Julie always wanted a kitty cat, even though she has asthma. So we adopted Romeo maybe 2 weeks after Mandy.
Yeah.
And what we've noticed is that as all this time has gone by, we have those other dogs. They all chased Romeo around. Mandy was always the protector. And we now realize it's because they basically grew up together.
Yeah.
So they were never going to hurt Romeo, but Mandy was always in charge. So this is just a little shot I found showing how close they were. This is literally Romeo eating from Mandy's bowl right after we adopted. I mean, look at that. They just grew up as best friends.
Yeah.
Then, like I said, on social media, Mandy definitely is social media. I post her all the time. I was obsessed with when she would sleep, you'd see her teeth. So there's that. And as my sister always said, the quote unquote, the best veneers in the business.
Oh my gosh.
They're just hilarious. You sleep with their teeth out. They're not veneers, but don't they look like it? And then my final thing, I have, hold on this. Wait, it's the two best friends. Oh, just the tradition that James and Mandy began very early, which is Mandy love to lick James's. Look at that. No matter, whenever James was laying down, Mandy would come over, put a little paws over, and they would have a full kissing session, and it was extremely cute. And we adopted Bagel a year later.
Yeah.
And they soon became best friends. As you can see, sharing the stage.
Aww.
And the final thing I will show is, speaking of adoptions, James adopted Julie when she was how old?
5.
She was 5. And then we raised her together. And then when Julie was an adult.
Because I met Seth almost exactly 1 year after I adopted Julie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would say it was 4 months.
I adopted her legally 360 days before I met you.
Wow, brava.
Yeah.
And then we raised her together. And then when she was an adult, I officially adopted her. And
during lockdown.
And Julie just found this photo because we had to do it on StreamYard or Zoom, whatever it was.
Yeah.
She found a photo of when I adopted her. And of course, who was in the background looking but Mandy. She was there even for Julie's adoption. Okay, so in conclusione.
Well, so I want to set this up for Dr. Krieger, and then this all started. My mom and I were in Europe, and
let me go back one more time.
You want to go back? Go ahead.
Let me go back to the beginning. So we adopted Mandy 2 years later.
Okay.
She had allergies,
right.
like Maggie.
Oh yeah,
I always thought she was very connected to Maggie.
Yeah,
she had allergies. She was at a regular allergy appointment, and her allergist said, "Oh, why is her paw a little bit red?" And I was like, "I don't know. She has allergies." I don't know how the allergist knew, but we got it checked out, and it wound up being cancer. And Mandy was 2 years old.
Mast cell tumor.
So yeah, she has something called a mast cell tumor. Oh, I'm gonna send the picture to David soon. But she had a mast cell tumor when she was 2 years old. She had to get her little toe amputated, and I'll send a cute picture actually of her paw. And after that, we were told, because there's always a chance of it coming back, to get her ultrasounds every 6 months or so. So we always did it. And, we're not going to call out, but basically we were not reminded to get an ultrasound.
Yeah. And that's one of the things we wanted to say is, because we're not going to be naming names, but we're really, part of this show is about service and what we wish that we had been told. And, some animal hospitals or vets send out postcards or reminders and that sort of thing.
My dentist does. It's a little, Yeah. Well, I'm
And-
upset about it.
And we didn't, and whether we got a reminder or not,
We got an email.
we got one email.
But the point is, I kept bringing Mandy in for other things, and no one ever said, "Oh, by the way, she's due for an ultrasound." I mean, and I kept bringing her in
And
because
she was in like every 2 or 3
she was a lot
weeks.
because she weirdly had blood in her urine, which, by the way, had nothing to do with the cancer in the long run. But I kept bringing her in, and
she
no
had a
one,
urinary tract infection.
she had a urinary tract infection around 4 times, and no one ever said she's due for an ultrasound, and that's the very
No one said she was overdue.
and that's the very upsetting part because what happened was the doctor had said to James, by the way, she possibly might have bladder cancer, but
because
Yes.
she had blood in her urine, and it did not come back positive. In other words, she did not have a
For an
urinary
infection.
tract infection. But we were like basically told in 2 weeks you'll get an ultrasound. It was like it wasn't because it's like they only have one. They're limited on their space, and so she had lost a couple of pounds, but it was really sort of like, it's okay, just let's do this in a couple of weeks as a safety measure. So my mom and I went, first time ever that I've traveled with my mom, and we had went to Paris and Amsterdam, and we had just, and this is where I might cry, on April 23rd, and we were told that we got to London, and my mom and I did, and
they've traveled. It was a 3-day
and it was like,
thing.
yeah, we'd gotten up at basically the equivalent of 11:30 p.m. New York time.
It was Amsterdam to Paris to London.
And
the night before, James had not said there was this possibility of Mandy having bladder cancer.
I didn't want to worry him.
Yeah, so it wasn't on my mind.
because the doctor didn't say, be
vigilant.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even thinking about it, but it was very
But it was
weird.
on my mind.
I was going to bed that night, and Mandy just paused at the edge of the bed and didn't jump off or move, and it was just really weird behavior. And I was like, Mandy, we're going to bed. It was just odd. It was really odd. So I went to sleep, and then the next morning she was sleeping, I think, on the floor of the bedroom, which she just never does.
did, yeah.
She never had. So I saw her, and she wasn't. And I called James, and I said, Mandy was just weird last night, and she just seems, I don't know, like a little out of it this morning. I FaceTimed him, and immediately
I knew something was wrong. And of course, in my mind, she had bladder cancer, and so I just said to Seth, I said, you need to take her in. And he made an appointment.
Get an ultrasound right
to
away.
get an ultrasound. And he said, I have an appointment at 3 p.m. at the vet hospital that we had taken her to, in 2000
For her
and I guess 16.
cancer.
Yeah.
Not a regular vet. It was like an emergency
Yeah,
room.
emergency hospital. There's basically 2 emergency hospitals that are open 24 hours a day in New York, and we're not going to mention their names.
Yeah.
But Seth took her to that one, but it was scheduled for 3 p.m. And I said, no. I said, you need to take her in now.
For an
And
emergency. That's
I
what it
went
was,
and told my
right.
mom. He just unpacked, and I said, Mom, are you okay for us, going back to New York tonight? Because I think she has bladder cancer.
He just.
My mom's, we're all dog people.
But
And she's like,
he was very psychic.
she's
thinking
like,
about
of
that, so she was
course.
fine.
She was like,
But
of
they've been
course.
traveling
We
for
had
that
just
hours.
unpacked.
Yeah.
We packed back up, and we're on our way. And I called my friends,
I didn't think it was bladder cancer. I was just like, I'll get the ultrasound.
which is probably good that you didn't know. And so I booked our tickets for frequent flyer miles. We're going to Heathrow. Me and my mom and Seth and Mandy are at the vet hospital. And as we're getting up to Heathrow, is when Seth called.
And the doctor had walked in, and I mean, I don't know what I expected, but she basically just said, Mandy has all these tumors in her body, and it looks like it's hemangiosarcoma, which I'd never heard of, and she just has it everywhere. And it was, of course, completely shocking to both of us. And I said, is there anything we can do? And she said, no, just palliative care. She did say she said, right, by the way, the reason, just to explain, the reason why she was sort of acting weird is Mandy, is one of those tumors that started to bleed. So that's why she didn't know what was going on in her body. So she was kind of uncomfortable walking around. And that's why she was doing that weirdness, because so the doctor said, I see some blood in her belly. She has a lot of tumors. And we're going to give you this thing called Union Bio, which can help clot the blood. But besides that,
and codeine. That's all
codeine,
that's
right.
all Seth walked out of the hospital
for pain
with.
and maybe to clot the blood. But she said there's only palliative care, and she said, you know what, go home. She has probably 3 days left to live, and get her a Big Mac. And, we took it in and James said, I'm flying home.
Well, we were already, my mom and I were already literally at Heathrow.
And she came out, Mandy came out, and this was the first weird thing. She came out and she was different than when I brought her in. She was all happy. And it was one of those things where I had to keep saying to myself.
And they didn't give her medicine or anything.
No.
They didn't, right.
So I had to keep being like, oh, no, she's really sick. It was like my mind wasn't understanding what I was looking at because I was like, this is really weird because she just seems peppy again. But I was like, oh, no, she's not. It was just so odd.
Yeah. And so we got home, I got home and it was around midnight.
To New York, yeah.
And came in, so happy to see Seth and Mandy and Bagel and Romeo. And we were just like, okay, we have 3 days. And then that Friday night, that was on a Tuesday.
I think it was Saturday night.
No, and Friday night,
okay.
The 3 days of medicine had run out. I guess Saturday morning we realized the 3 days of medicine had run out. And I was like, because I wasn't here, I was like, wow, they really did think it was only 3 days. And we just were like, let's do some research on this. And so that's
it was more than that.
Okay.
It
was sort of like maybe there's hope that she can live more than 3 days.
I remember you. Hold on, I'm just looking for this stupid photo that says 4 days.
That's okay.
David, you have that picture where it says like either 3 days or 4 days. But basically, James, it was not so low energy. James, we were watching Project Runway, and James turned it off, and he was like, "This is crazy." He said, "Why are we giving up?" He said, it was much more like defined. He said, we need to research this. He said, why? Because by the way, it wasn't just that vet that said 3 days. We went back to our old vet and she said, oh, she never said, by the way, sorry, I didn't give her an ultrasound. And the reason I'm bringing that up, by the way, about the ultrasound is it begins in the spleen, as far as we know. And she could have had surgery to take out. David, I sent you, if you can you look for 2 things? Do you see any photos that say 4th day or 3rd day? I can't find it on the side, but just show that to me right now. It's on the side. But the point is, it began in the spleen, and probably the spleen could have been taken out, and maybe the cancer wouldn't have spread, because you don't necessarily die of the cancer, you die because of the bleeding. And when there are that many tumors, they bleed. So if there had been an ultrasound, they maybe would have just seen it on the spleen and taken it out.
Possibly, but we're going to talk to Dr. Krieger about all this.
But the point is, James said, can you please research? I began looking, I found this, I looked up hemangiosarcoma. They had not done, by the way, a needle aspirate to know exactly if that's what it was. But I looked up, I found this guy named Jason Redless. That was very, his dog had died of hemangiosarcoma. He called us. It was so kind. And he said, let me help you. It's a very little known disease and I really want to help you. So he hooked us up with this really nice doctor named Dr. Chand Khanna. We could not get an oncologist in New York to look at Mandy. No.
Yeah, because so there's, like I said, the 2 hospitals, right? So there's the one where they were like, give the Big Mac. And the oncologist basically admitted that via email that they didn't keep up on the latest. And so it was sort of like, that was it. The other animal hospital in New York, literally, because so many of their dogs, they had so many patients, they literally were not taking new oncology patients. So if you can imagine, you're living in New York City, the largest city in the country, and the 2 major animal hospitals, literally we had nowhere to go.
And just FYI, the doctors that originally diagnosed, when we said it's really nothing to do, it was a lot of, literally I was obsessed, like, you're more than welcome to it was so passive aggressive, like, you're more than welcome to research. And I was like, I know we're more than welcome. She's our dog. You don't have to give us permission. But it wasn't like, you know what? I'm not up on it. There may be other people who are. It was just very like, Shishraga. So by the way, this is how Mandy was acting when it was supposed to be her day to pass away. And that's when we were like, this is crazy. So this is her with me. She's she looks a little depressed there, but still. Snuggle set. I mean, look, that's
a great picture.
I mean, and she was just like happy. So we're like, she doesn't look like she's gonna die. And FYI, this was her. Wait, which one is this? This is her paw. So you can see the difference. So she has the one little toe that's amputated. Anyway, okay. Yeah. So Dr. Chankana said, I can get you an oncologist in Red Bank, and I was like, why do we even need one? We know what she has. She has hemangiosarcoma, there's nothing to do, but James took her in.
Yeah, and so it was on that day that I brought Mandy to the Red Bank Veterinary Hospital in Tenton Falls, I believe that's it, right? New Jersey, and I literally did not know Dr. Krieger's first name until about an hour ago.
Yeah, I was like,
so Emily, we've always called her Dr. Krieger. So please welcome, David, you bring her on, Dr. Emily Krieger.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Hi, Dr. Krieger.
thank you for coming on Stars in the House.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. I feel so cool to be on.
Well, I'm going to treat you the way I would any guest, and I'm going to ask you, before we talk about Mandy, why did you become a vet and why oncology?
I wanted to become a vet like most vets do from a very young age. And I really love medicine, but I really love animals. And I think it's a really unique privilege that we have to treat them and care for them. So I pursued that path for essentially my whole life. And then, during my internship, which we do veterinary school, and then we do internship. And then if you want to go on to do a residency, you can do that as well. So very similar to human medicine. I just found that the relationships that we have with pet parents when they're going through this cancer diagnosis is really special. We can really make a big difference. And I think we can also make a really big difference in how our pets feel with cancer. And I think any time that we get that's quality time is really worthwhile. And I think that that's really special. So that's why I do what I do.
So when we brought her to you, or when I brought her to you, because Seth wasn't there at the first visit, it was suspected hemangiosarcoma.
Yep.
But you would do an aspirate that day, and we would find out that it was different.
And we were told you can't do an aspirate because bleeding is what can kill a doggy, and a needle aspirate going in can cause a bleed. So we were told, do not do a needle aspirate. It's too dangerous. So why did you have the rebel attitude of like, watch me?
So I think that we just wanted to start from scratch. I think that whenever someone's seeking you out for a second opinion, you need to look at what's been done and what you could do and kind of go from there. So I said, I have these records, but I haven't seen all this stuff for myself. So we took a look at Mandy. We did another ultrasound, and we said, some of these lesions, which she had some masses in her kidneys, she had some masses in her spleen and her liver, some of them were safe to aspirate. And that all depends not only on clinical opinion, but also appearance of what those masses look like. So we felt that the risk was actually low enough and we felt it was safe for us to be able to do that. So we were able to get that done. And then that led us down a different path, which was that she had histiocytic sarcoma, which is an entirely different type of cancer.
And why was it important? Because the treatment, it's not entirely different, but why was it important to know that was what she had?
So some of the treatments are similar. There's some crossover, but some not, right? We talked about how some of the treatments she received ended up being very different than what we would do for hemangiosarcoma. And even though her disease process was similar in that she had these bleeding episodes, histiocytic sarcoma is a completely different cell type than hemangiosarcoma. Yes, they all have sarcoma in the name, but they're actually very different how they behave and what they can do. And so for us, having that much information and a true diagnosis is essential so that we can provide the best care.
And it's actually the one that Mandy had is actually a much more rare form, right?
Not really good news. It was just good to know, but it wasn't really good news. It was more rare, but just as fatal.
But if you can tell everyone, because it was, maybe tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like my mom had ovarian cancer, and she's, that was a long time ago, and she had advanced ovarian cancer and she survived. But ovarian cancer is known as like the silent killer. And I feel like I read in research that that's sort of like what these cancers are, because there weren't really warning signs. Am I wrong about that? Are there warning signs?
Let me say one thing. A lot of people have been posting, my dog had the same thing and suddenly had a bleed and just died shockingly. So I think I didn't know about that, but that's probably why everyone keeps posting that. Is that what happens? Like just suddenly your dog is bleeding to death and you don't know why?
Yeah, so keep in mind, so if we're talking about hemangiosarcoma, that's typically a cancer that arises from blood vessels or the progenitors of blood vessel cells. And so that typically does arise within the abdominal organs. The spleen, like you guys mentioned, is the main offender. And so when we see that disease, if you guys are, not doing routine checks on your animals, especially as they get older, sometimes we miss those things because they can feel fine for so long until essentially you get a mass that's so large it will rupture. With histiocytic sarcoma, it actually can have a very random and kind of varied presentation. And some animals will be very sick right away with histiocytic sarcoma. And other dogs will be like Mandy, where they had kind of this slower growing, creeping along into multiple organs until all of a sudden, then we know that something has happened. And histiocytic sarcoma is a disease that comes from cells that we have all throughout our body that kind of do cleanup work called macrophages. And so those guys hang out in every organ that we have and our bone marrow too. And so a lot of these patients can have diseases of the blood as well. And so it is extremely variable in how it presents. And you may know right away or you may not. But I think, the most important thing to take away from either of those cancers is that, especially as your animals are getting older, it is really important to do those checkups, even if they don't have a history of cancer. It's never wrong as your pet gets older to pursue chest x-rays and an ultrasound every 6 months to make sure that you're monitoring for things that might be missed if they feel fine.
Okay.
Yeah, because Mandy, there was no difference in her up until she had that weird moment. It wasn't like she was slowing down at all. There was nothing, and she had tumors everywhere. But I guess, Dr. Krieger, what I'm curious, because I am still upset about the ultrasound. You're saying that maybe hers didn't begin in her spleen because it's histiocytic?
So histiocytic sarcoma can arise truly from any organ. With her, it's very challenging to say since we're just presented with, okay, it's in these organs, period. So you don't know, where was the chicken and then the egg after that. The spleen is a really common site for histiocytic sarcoma, but we really can see it in any organ.
Okay.
And yet, when we brought her to you, from what I had read and I had asked you to send us stuff, everything that I was reading that you sent and that I did on my own was sort of like the dogs at once a diagnosis with histiocytic really didn't live more than a couple of months. And yet when Mandy had her first bleed, which was, I guess, a couple of weeks after she met you, it was her first time that she stayed at the hospital, and her blood pressure was so low. You were like, I wouldn't have been able to walk in, and she
never collapsed. She just was always walking in full sass.
And she got the reputation at the oncology department as being the badass, right? That's what everyone was saying about her.
Yeah, Mandy had a lot of fortitude, and she really would come in and she'd just be like, okay, guys, what's on the docket for today? And you guys would be like, she seems a little weird. And I would be like, Mandy, your blood pressure is 50. I don't know how you're standing. But she was a champ. She did have several bleeding episodes, throughout the time that I knew her. Those, I think, were kind of the most challenging times for her. And we always look at these bleeding episodes as how do they affect quality of life? And really, they make the most difference in quality of life when their blood pressure drops, when they become anemic. We don't think of them as acutely painful, but mostly like if you or I are very anemic, we're very tired, moving around is hard, we may not want to eat or drink as much. And sometimes there can be kind of acute collapsing episodes, very pale gums, things like that. Sometimes we can manage bleeding events with blood transfusions for patients and get them back on their feet. Bleeding events can stop. And patients can have a good quality of life after them. But there are some patients who will not recover from bleeding episodes, and the bleeding will not stop. And that is obviously life-threatening.
I'd like to say just two things. One is Mandy did get blood transfusions, and holy cow, did she recover after that. So everyone out there, I'd never even known about this till
There's a shortage, right, in the country for that.
And I know that I've seen, I remember I was with Mandy 2 years ago, and I saw something like, hey, do you want to give some doggy blood? What can people do if they can't donate right now? How can they, get some blood transfusions? What do they do?
Yeah. So reach out to your local specialty hospital, specialty and emergency hospital. A lot of these larger hospitals will have a blood donor program. We have one at Red Bank. We would love to have dogs and cats come. oftentimes, when your dog or cat is a blood donor, you also receive free exams, free blood work, and sometimes also in addition to all of the blood work, sometimes also maybe dog food or other incentives for donating. They don't have to come a lot. They do have to meet certain size requirements, but aside from that, it is truly a pretty minimal process for the pets, and it really can save so many lives, and it's so helpful.
And I don't know if we would have had, hold on. It's the reason to have your dog and donate if you can, if you've got a healthy dog right now, because I don't know if we would have had that extra 6-7 weeks if she hadn't had that blood transfusion, right? I mean, that really helped her tremendously.
It did help her, yes, and we're very thankful for that blood. It is truly a precious resource, just like for people.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And the second thing I want to just say is whenever we tell people about, Mandy stayed alive for a couple months, I feel from 50% of them like, we're the crazy owners and our dog was like, vomiting and skinny from chemo and a nightmare. And we're like, but she's alive. I just want people to know, like, A, we would never do that to Mandy. She had a great quality of life. And Dr. Krieger, was like, she's like, I'm going to tell you when, like, it's not good for the dog. So I just want people to know there's nothing wrong with helping your dog live. You just have to be compassionate people that know if the dog is struggling. Mandy was always eating. She slept with us every night. She still loved to play. She was slower, but she had a great life. So Dr. Krieger, that's up to you to tell the owner, this is not good for the dog, even though it's good for you. That's your job.
And that's what you did.
Yeah, so I think my most important job is advocating for my client, which is truly the pet. My client and my patient, those are my people. And so it's really important for oncologists to make sure that the patient is tolerating the chemo well, that they feel good on it. If they don't feel good on the drug, we reduce the dose or we change the drug. Everything that we do in oncology is geared toward improving quality of life. It is not to make them sick during this treatment. And I think that that's a really big misconception about treatment of pet cancer, is that we're going to make them very sick, like in humans. And it's actually extremely different.
Mandy only, literally in that 3 months and 3 days, she vomited one time that we know of. That was it.
And that's because she had an eating disorder.
And that was
comedy people.
That was early on, and that was the only time.
Yeah, she only vomited once. I mean, definitely her taste in food changed. But
yes,
I don't know if
that's commonly reported. I wish we knew more about it. In people that are on chemotherapy, their taste buds do change and what they like to eat. And I do think we see that, and that can be challenging to manage for everybody. But as long as they're feeling good and you guys are perceiving that their quality of life is good, then we're doing our job.
Yeah.
I guess my final question is, why are certain vets like, sorry, there's nothing to do, but you're sort of like, oh, let me research all the latest things. Like, what's the difference in vets? Why are you like that and others aren't?
So sometimes I think it has to do with your own personal experience or personal perception. I think too, it depends on what you've seen or maybe what you've done. And I think I've been very fortunate in my career, which admittedly is not crazy long, right? I've been out of my residency for 5 years, that I've always been taught that as long as the patient feels well, it deserves a try. And I definitely agree with that philosophy. And I think any time we have with our pets while they feel well is precious. And so if I can give that back, because you also never know what's going to happen. Sometimes we say the prognosis for this is really poor. I'm really worried that, even if we try it, we might not get much time. And then that patient might be the one patient of your career that lives 3 times as long as you ever said. And why would you want to miss out on that? And so I think, again, if they feel fine, then we should try. We should do it.
And you know this because we told you this the day that Mandy died, but we're so appreciative of that and so grateful to you because on the one hand, you could say it's just 3 months and you've already had her for 9.5 years, but a lot can happen in 3 months. And she brought us a lot of hope. And I told you this, but I'll tell our audience, we're a nonprofit, we're a 501c3, so I can't get political here, but I can say that I had told Mandy a couple of weeks before she passed, I said, Mandy, please stay. Please, if your body can hold out, please stay until the election because I need your emotional support. And 5 days before she passed is when things changed in the United States, and our president decided that he wasn't going to run. And I know I sound crazy, but I'm going to just say it. I actually knew then that was going to be it. And Mandy was like, okay, my job here is done. And sure enough, the next day is when she had her bleed that just sort of didn't stop. But yeah, Mandy was very,
Look at that picture. She's so precious.
Oh, thank you.
We ended up, I think we might end up closing the show when we sang Dr. Krieger at the Democratic National Convention back in 2016. And we purposely, Seth being Seth, made sure that the bus that took all of us to Philadelphia was like a block away from our apartment in Manhattan. And so
I didn't want to travel.
He didn't want to travel. So, Sharon Gless and Tyne Daly, who were from Cagney and Lacey, everyone was gathering us.
Come up,
right?
Yeah.
But Mandy was at doggy daycare, and because she went with my mom because my mom was still living up in Enwood at the time. So Mandy was in doggy daycare. So one of the reasons that Mandy was so important to us for many reasons, but was literally our all of our social justice benefits and everything that we've done. Mandy was there. Our very first benefit that we did together was for this organization called You Gotta Believe, and for older foster youth that you have to come to. It's going to be announced officially in 2 weeks, but it's at the end of November in New York. It's going to be our 10th anniversary.
Oh, how exciting!
Yes, and so, but Mandy was there for all of them, and she was even there. She was a block away when the bus took off for us to go to Philadelphia. She's just she was always there, and 3 months. That 3 months was really valuable. So
it
thank
really
you.
It
was life-changing for me.
Yeah, it gave us a different perspective on life.
It changed. Yeah,
I'm not giving up hope and appreciating minute to minute. And of course, everyone says this, but it's true. Dogs do not know they're sick. So when someone has cancer, they keep going, "Oh my God, when am I going to die?" It made us go, "Oh my God, she's so in the moment. She's just happy. She's not thinking about what if I get another bleed." It really made us think that.
The 3 months was almost like a mental health rehab for me, because I was writing in my journal, and she would be right there when I turned 55 on July 6th. So she was with me for a couple, during that time. And I wrote out like a couple of days later, my goals, like what are my goals, for this year of my life, this new year of my life. And I wrote out 25 goals while Mandy was there. And now that Mandy's passed, it's like, I'll say, Mandy, I know I'm going to have to stick to the goals, because now she's looking over me. I'm like, I got to do this for Mandy. You know what I mean? I got to keep eating healthy. I got to write this project, write that project. And so, but I wouldn't have come to that. This is my point and why I'm so grateful to you. I would not have come to that point if Mandy had only had 3 days. And because she was able to be there for my birthday and for me to write out the goals, that was because you gave us hope and you helped us. And not just for, as Seth said, just to live, but she had a good quality of life. She couldn't go to Central Park and walk the long walks anymore.
It was bad for her to walk too much, but
she
got to hang out with us.
Yeah.
And
so thank you.
Thank you,
very
Dr.
much.
Krieger.
You're
And
so welcome. I love you guys. My whole team loves you guys. They are. I think some of them are watching. So they're all very appreciative of everything.
The team was so nice to us. Your whole team was so nice to us. And a couple of things I want to show you. So first of all, when I do get a tissue, I get it from my special Mandy tissue box, just so you know. Second of all, we have such fans from Stars in the House, our Sith Core fam. Donald, just an incredible fan from London, literally had this made for us. So it says Stars in the House, and it's all 4 of our dogs. He had this sculpted.
That's amazing.
So that's Mandy based on that New York Times photo right there.
Yes, the huge smile.
Yes, Mandy and Bagel and Chrissy and Mateo. So Donald, we love you.
Yes.
And I'm going to show you this, Dr. Krieger, before you go. Because hi, baby.
Now who is this?
This is Nola. She is
Nola.
12. I adopted her in veterinary school, so she's been with us for many of life's journeys. This is her squirrel, known as Squirrel. She's obsessed with him unnaturally.
So sweet.
But she's the best. I adopted her too when she was 10 weeks old. So
Oh, adopt on shop. So before you go down to Krieger, and then we'll do some more stuff for our regular people, but because you're a vet, you'll appreciate this. So I go to Provincetown. I work in Provincetown all the time. So I was there, and I always get fudge, not for me, but for my trainer. It's a kind of a sick relationship. So I got a ton of fudge, and I went, and I forgot to bring it to my trainer. I came home, and I didn't see it anymore. And I was like, oh my God, I think both dogs ate that chocolate. And as you know, it could be poisonous. So I called our vet and I said, I'm nervous they ate the chocolate. They said, well, can you try to make them vomit? I was like, I can't. So it's Bagel and Mandy. I was like, I don't know how much they ate. I don't know who ate more. So they gave them, there's something you can give a doggy at a vet that makes them throw up, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So this picture, not safe for work, but this is Bagel and Mandy. And let's just show,
you know what he's going to show you.
Let's just show that Mandy was definitely the alpha. This was what happened after they took the pill. Poor Bagel had dog food, and look how much Mandy ate.
No!
That is all chocolate, and poor Bagel just had a little bit of breakfast, and that's it.
I know Bagel looks so upset. Bagel is like, "Why am I here? I didn't participate."
Mandy's such a biatch. This is the real sweet Mandy that we love. All right, Dr. Krieger.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me, guys. I'm sure I will see you soon.
Yes. And I'm gonna mail all that stuff tomorrow. I haven't. I'm gonna mail it. All right.
You're gonna mail
Thank
it.
you so much.
Bye, Dr. Krieger.
Bye.
Oh, hold on. Okay, so hold on. I would like to just do a couple more things.
Everyone, just so you know, I think I said this before. The reason why Seth keeps going off screen is because we have the laptop over there, so Seth is getting the clip. So Seth,
should I read some donations first?
Yeah, let's do some donations. If you want to. You want to scroll up to the top?
Sure.
Let's read. I'll start. I can read.
You start, honey. Okay.
All right. Okay. This is probably a donation that we never thought we needed to make. Mandy is the star in the house. And with her, rest of the gang, make the show the homely feel that it always has. Being doggy parents ourselves, it's devastating to lose your child through illness. Run free over the Rainbow Bridge, Mandy. Very sorry for your loss. And this is so appropriate. Donald and Melanie from the UK, $50. Was, of course, Donald and Melanie, who had this made, donated $50.
And by the way, Donald and Melanie, who've come on our Broadway cruise, we're coming to London soon. Hopefully, we can see them when we go.
We're going to be doing that in. Oh yeah, we are going to be there. We're going to London.
Yeah. So and
also, well, you know they don't live in London, but
Donald lives in London.
No,
the UK is London.
Okay, no.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, the chat would always blow up whenever we were lucky enough to get a Mandy sighting, which we're going to be showing those clips soon. What a lucky girl she was to have you and to be loved by so many. Seth, James, and Julie, I send you all of my best as always, but especially now. Goodbyes are hard, but reunions are better. Mandy, run free and happy, good girl. Until your family sees you again, with love, from Scott in Kansas City, $100 for ACC.
Oh, that's just so
Seth
nice.
And James, I'm so saddened to learn of your dear, sweet Mandy's passing. Rescue dogs just seem like they have a different soul, living life with a sense of gratitude, a lesson we humans should learn from. We were a foster family for a rescue program for a number of years, which is how Charlie came to join our family. He was lost to lymphoma in 2016, just weeks after diagnosis, too. That sudden shock and pain is something you're never prepared for. My heart is with you all as you grieve for Mandy, but also celebrate the joy that she brought. With love from Ryan. Thank you, Ryan, from Wisconsin. $100. You want to read, Seth?
Sure. I don't know what to say other than Mandy was a star who was clearly beloved and had a wonderful home and family. My heartfelt condolences on your loss. We'll all miss her, but probably not as much as you. She was equally loved. Janice from Illinois. I hope this donation helps bring some joy to others that Mandy brought into my life and support someone else's love for animals. From David Katz himself. David, you're so sweet. Oh my God, David was so kind with Mandy. Mandy was such a star. Those of us watching from the peanut gallery loved it when she'd appear with you online. Losing a fur baby is really, really hard. Big hugs to you all. Susan Graham, aka Seattle Susie Q, one of our favorites. And Lane Wright from Nashville made a donation in honor of Mandy. And of course, our favorite from Germany, your precious angel Mandy had a wonderful life with you and she'll live on in your memory. Sending love, Isabel. Okay, so we'll come back to this. I want to just
you keep sending those donations and we'll get back to them.
It's making a huge difference.
Absolutely.
ACC is like a city-run shelter. I mean, and they have so many animals. And like I said, go to Go to that app and you'll see all these animals that are up for adoption. Okay, so by the way, we were talking about all the celebrities. Well, we're talking about the foster care event, but these are some of the celebrities.
This is perfect for the foster care benefit. So our first foster care benefit, Mandy had only been with us for 6 months, and Charlene Tilton, otherwise known as Lucy from Dallas, the TV show Dallas, who herself was in foster care for a while when she was a girl. And by the way, she will be appearing in November for our return 10th anniversary. This is where you're hearing it for the first time.
She has an incredible story about being a foster kid, and she's going to come back, and we have music involved.
But it really, Charlene coming and doing voices really put the show on the map, because Entertainment Tonight came and did a segment, and they came to our apartment. And of course, like I said, Dr. Krieger, Mandy was there. So when Entertainment Tonight came to our apartment and Charlene Tilton did, there was Mandy right before Charlene did the segment. Mandy was just there for
always there.
Yeah.
She was there with my friend who starred in Mean Girls, Erica Henningsen. Hopefully she wasn't Regina George. No, but that's not it. Wait, there it is. There's Erica.
There's Mandy. Right here, right in our studio here.
And then she was also with, let me find it. Hold on.
It.
No, I have one more.
You have another one?
Yes. Hold on 1 second. I put it down. Oh, she was with our friend Lady Braxton, who used to host Stars in the House. They, of course, Brenda told a hilarious joke. And the next thing you know, they were laughing their faces.
That is the best picture. Oh my gosh.
Of course, she was also with Lilith from Cheers, Miss BB Newirth. They were hanging out together. Why not?
Aww.
And then finally, one of our favorites, because he wrote a song about Mandy years before he ever knew Mandy, and he had a beagle named Bagel. How crazy is that? She got to hang out with Barry Manilow and Bruce Sussman. That's Barry Manilow. That's Mandy, that's Bagel, and that's Bruce Sussman. So she has known her share
of celebrities.
You may wonder why. It's because she was in Chicago on Broadway. This is the photo of Mandy doing the cell block tango.
Gosh.
Okay, and then I wanted to show you. So Mandy loved her Frisbee.
Yes, she did.
Loved her Frisbee. Again, just like my dog Maggie. I mean, I really do believe there was a spiritual connection, because we have a lot of dogs, and Mandy had the allergies, just like Maggie. We had to give her the shots. Love the Frisbee. And I found this video of us in the park with the Frisbee where it's on slow motion. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Wait, this is Frisbee with James. Here's one.
Mandy. Oh. Come here. Come here. Come here. Mandy, here. Good girl.
And of course, you know, we would buy expensive toys for her, but why have an expensive toy when you can actually just ruin our hammer?
It's us.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I've seen that video before.
Hilarious?
Oh my gosh.
And for those of you that say, oh, you know, like my Aunt Phyllis, like Mandy's always sleeping. This is when she was at our friend Gretchen's house.
Yes.
You will see she had crazy energy, and this is why she would sleep a lot.
And Bagel too.
And Bagel.
Bagel.
Quick answer that. Mandy can sleep anywhere, including in the little tiny dog bed for my sister Beth's Shih Tzu. Here she is shoving her body into that. Look how small. And Mandy, I made this really fun compilation. Mandy loved, by the way, this is when Mandy came to visit. My dream is always to have a dog with me at all times. So this is Mandy when she came with me to the hair salon. And I love that she was there with me. But Mandy just loved to have her head on something. So I made a compilation of Mandy with putting her head. She just loved to rest it. Let me just go to it. The first one, it begins sort of normal. Hold on. Teeth. Mandy. Hold on. Sorry, Jimmy. Bagel and Mandy. Photos. Oh, by the way. Did I do this in the right order? Hold on. I'm sorry. 1 second. Oh, one of the really cool. Talk about doing your DNA for a second, Jimmy.
Oh, so we did. We use Embark, and where you do the swab, and we found out that Mandy. It was just like, what was she? They thought that she was a Basenji mix when
I thought she was a
adopted her.
Basenji mix,
and she really did. But she was half pit, and then everything else she was. I don't even have it in front of me.
Shetland sheepdog.
Shetland sheepdog was like 12%, and then Pyrenees was like 8%. I mean, she was just a real mix of that other 50%. But she was 100. I mean, 50% solid. Like one of her parents was 100% pit bull.
Pit bull. So for everyone that thinks pit bulls are mean, they're also angels. And because of Embark, when other people get their DNA, you can find relatives. And we actually found Mandy's brother, who, I mean, look at them. Look how they're brothers. That was her brother that was adopted, and he lived down in the South, but you could really see it from their eyes.
Very soulful eyes.
Right?
Like Mandy, by the way.
The same thing.
Very soulful eyes.
So what I wanted to show you was the Mandy head thing. So she loved to just put her head on something. So first, like, okay, well, that's sort of normal. It's on the side of a chair.
Yeah.
Then, like, okay, like on a sweater, I get it. But then it was just like earphones. And then she's like, a weird desk. And then finally she's like, I guess you'll do. She literally put her hand and fell asleep. I can't move.
Nope. No.
And we have to, by the way, the other thing we want to thank all of our Stars in the House fans, including Justin Squiggs, Robertson, who does the Broadway show cards. When he made a Broadway show card for Stars in the House, he put Mandy in it. See if you could find her in this. All the animals are on the bottom. You see Romeo. Mandy's right next to Romeo. Can you see there's a kitty cat? And then there's Mandy. And he also put, of course, Mateo and Chrissy.
And Ash is in that Dr. LaPook's dog.
Ash
and Kristen Chenoweth's dog. It's very sweet.
Thank you.
Very nice. So.
All right, so Jimmy, I know that you have some videos to show.
Well, yeah, let's show. Well, I would love to show. We'll go down because I'm going to have to be reminded.
Okay, sure, of course. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Where it begins there.
Yeah. Well, go down. Go down? It's so hard because you're way over there.
Sure. You tell me.
You know what? When I was saying about here, when I was saying that Mandy's been here for a lot of important days, all of our benefits, but also, of course, as we all know, in 2020, there were a lot of momentous days, and into 2021. I mean, Mandy was here when we did our vote-a-thon on Election Day,
which was like 12 hours of it, right?
Which we did from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And Mandy was there, and we had all the celebrities. And by the way, I'll just use this since we're so loose, and we're much longer than I thought we would go. But it Stars in the House, so of course we're going to go longer than an hour. But I'll say it right now that we just had our first meeting for Stars in the House in over a year, and we are going to start Monday through Thursday on Labor Day through Election Day.
Wait a minute, we are?
Yep, 4 days a week.
I mean, it's bad, but it's true.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's every week it's going to be a different charity. So for the first week, Seth, I know you weren't at the meeting.
I'm so excited.
First week is going to be for the Entertainment Community Fund, formerly the Actors Fund. We're going to start that on Labor Day. The next week, Seth, I'll tell you right now, it is going to be National Immigration Law Center.
Yes.
The following week is going to benefit the League of Women Voters.
Oh my God, that's so old school.
And then the following week, the day after the flea market, which is very appropriate.
We mean the Broadway flea market?
Broadway flea market, thank you. Is going to be Broadway Cares Equity Fights Aid. So every week is going to be a different charity. It's going to be Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m.
I will say one thing.
House, yes.
Wait.
Well, I mean, like what I mean by it's not going to be all clips. I mean, it's like we'll have guest hosts, we'll have game nights.
No,
we'll
but
have
I want to do.
I want to do.
I was going to say I want to start doing like we did Almost Famous. I want to have musical sing-throughs.
Yeah, but we'll also if our friends in Los Angeles want to come on virtually, we'll do it all.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not it's new episodes.
I meant the best of, meaning like all the different types. It's going to be. We haven't done on a regular basis in one time.
We mean a compilation of styles. Yeah,
for the first time.
So we're going to do game nights. We're going to do our, like we did Avenue Q, a full sing-through.
Because look, even though things I think are again,
looking
up. Mandy isn't here to be my emotional support dog until Election Day. So we're going to do Stars in the House Monday through Thursday for the 9 weeks leading up to election. It's 9 weeks and 2 days after Labor Day. Yeah. And we are going to be doing shows Monday through Thursday. So yes, we will be back. So mark your calendar on Labor Day, 8 p.m. Eastern.
That sound you hear is the Sith Core Fam
Well, look at the comments.
Having a breakdown.
That David is putting.
And
up.
it's Isabel and Tig setting their alarms because they watch it live from Germany.
Ireland and Germany, that's right. So anyway, so one of the big ones was a vote-a-thon, which we will do again. We were, because it was so hard, Dr. Krieger doesn't know this, since I see you're still watching, makes me so happy. So right after we left you at Red Bank Hospital, Seth had a job with these two big Broadway stars, Norbert Leo Butz and Lilias White. And it was going to be in Chicago. And I had been planning on staying here in New York to be with Mandy. And when that didn't happen, and Seth wasn't going to leave until Sunday, and this was Friday afternoon. And I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to be in this apartment by myself. And because Bagel was already with my mom. No offense, Romeo, our cat. I didn't want to be here. And so Seth is like, we were like, let's go to Chicago. Let's go today. And
cleanse the palate.
And God bless Brian, who's Seth's presenter in Chicago.
Brian Moschka.
Yeah, thank you. And the concerts were amazing. And I think Seth's going to come back to Chicago every 3 or 4 months for the concert series. And Brian was like, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm going to pay for your extra 2 nights in this really beautiful hotel in Chicago. And that's where we were for the 4 nights. Now, granted, I stopped and sobbed about 25 times a day in the hotel, but it was better to be there. And my cousin Janet, if Janet's watching, I love you. Thank you so much for being there, because there were some of the songs that Norbert and Lilia sang that I said, Janet, I'm going to be squeezing your hand really hard so that I wouldn't break out sobbing. But it was fantastic. And one of the plays we saw, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, with Jay Harrison G and Sierra Bogus, who were amazing. And we also saw Laurie Metcalf in her play at Steppenwolf. And
both plays were about death.
Because we hung out with Laurie and her small cast afterward for about an hour, which was awesome to spend that time with her and her dog. I said it's a good thing I did not know. I didn't know that this song is about, or this show is about death, because I wouldn't have come.
This is can you see us? There, I'm holding.
It's kind of blurry. Maybe break back up a little bit.
There's Laurie
Maybe
Metcalf.
David can.
I'm holding. Wait, David
will do it. Send it to David.
All right. I don't have the energy for that.
But we'll just send it. But you'll have to play this. So on election day, because we have 2 minutes here, this is when we first met, because Lori brought her dog that you were about to see. Those of you who remember, and this was actually the first time we met Lori's dog.
Are we going to do a vote-a-thon again on election day?
We are. Oh yeah, we're going to do it.
Okay, so we're going to do it all day. This is the way to kind of motivate people. And by the way, for all of
Lori said she would do it.
This is all for all of our we're giving back. It's also for our own mental health.
That's what I said. Yeah. It's like without me here.
The reason we got through the pandemic and we weren't traumatized is Stars in the House kept us focused.
Yeah.
So this is our vote-a-thon.
Oh, there's a picture. Look, and there's her dog right there, Connie. Seth is holding Connie. So Connie was our therapy dog that first weekend.
Yes, boy.
It was so great. Connie just came right onto our lap and licked us just the way Mandy did.
So this is our compilation of the
so this is our first of several clips tonight. And this is Laurie Metcalf with Mandy and Connie and me and Seth. Go, Seth.
Flip? He did. I don't remember who.
No, not that one yet.
Anyway, because nobody in the Connors family knows anybody else, it appears, except for the family. So we're just always in the house together anyway. Guys, I got a puppy.
Hold on.
Your dogs. Oh, look. You want to meet Connie?
Of course we do. Connie Connors.
Well, I didn't really even connect that. But this is Connie. She's a rescue from a great place called Paul Works in LA.
Put that up, Seth.
Hold on, the cuteness. I want to put that up right now.
Put it up.
And she just got groomed, so she has a pink bandana on. But I knew you guys were dog lovers, so I thought you might want to see her.
Are you kidding me? We have one up here, 3 more downstairs.
Lori, I have so many questions. So when did you get her?
I got her 2 months ago, so she's 4 months old. But
she's still a puppy?
Yeah, tiny puppy. So I have a place in Idaho to vacation at, and we go fishing at a place called Connie's Pond. And I always thought Connie was such a cute name, and it reminds me of being in Idaho, so that's why she's Connie.
So as we said, Mandy had and Mandy was known by celebrities. But Lori Metcalf actually said, yes, I'll do the vote-a-thon if you do it again this year, because she's wrapping up the Connors and hopefully will be coming back to Broadway. Seth, what else do you want to show?
Well, I don't know any of these videos.
Oh,
you do.
Well, we can just go right into the game night. Why don't you do a game night?
Here she is, Mandy's
video?
appearance. Doesn't matter because three of us. Oh, actually, what?
Could be girls, boys.
She's a girl. She's a girl. Yes. There she wants her private corner spot. Come on, Mandy. Private corner spot.
Stay here.
She wants her corner spot. Yeah, she loves it. Mandy, jump it. There she goes.
There she goes.
She had to be there, else she would not be satisfied.
And this is all live. It's like, Mandy, what the heck are you doing?
Bagel's going upstairs. Here we go. Here's more Mandy.
Here we go.
He got Angelica Eliza Peggy, Artisan, All About Eve, Ann Richards, Anti-Name, Arm, and Anybody Nobody.
All About Eve.
I didn't get All About Eve. I passed.
Yeah, Jack, your signature. Just whatever you do, make sure you confidently say what someone didn't get.
I said Betty, as in Betty Davis, but
I've been begging to change us to. Okay, here.
So, man, you can see Mandy in the back on that one, but this one, Seth, you have to set this one up.
James on the floor?
Yes, and you know what this one is?
No.
This is when you were doing
the crawling.
Yes.
Okay, so
set
we lived
this up.
upstate, and there were no sidewalks. So basically, the dogs would have to go outside the house to ever go to the bathroom. So there was a glass door in back.
Sliding glass door, right.
Now, James, there was something that happened where James couldn't do the show that night.
I couldn't do the show.
And I sort of had to lie about why he couldn't do it. I can't remember. But the point is, he didn't want people to know he was home. So he came up halfway through the show, and Mandy barked. And instead of me getting up and open the door, James was like, secretly was like, I'll open the door, but he didn't want people to see him. So you see,
Mandy had to go out to the bathroom.
So you see a crazy person crawling. His version of hiding is, I see you crawling on camera, but it was very kind because to let Mandy out. So this is the reveal. 1, 2, 3.
Who I was. And that's a lot, because I think that's quite interesting when you think about what, quote unquote, the genie is supposed to be. And all of that was thrown out the window. It wasn't about that at all. But my personal life was me. And the fact that they accepted that and accepted my truth, in that. I mean, I stood on a stage on national television in Australia where I won the Tony in Australia, the Helpman Award, and said, I can't wait to marry my husband. And literally a hush fell over Jerusalem in Australia. And so, and the fact that they just supported that, Disney was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Those kinds of things are important for all of.
You could just see the sliding glass door open and then close.
Okay, hold on. So, like I said, don't forget the vote-a-thon.
Yes.
Everybody loved Mandy. Here's Mandy with my mommy. Look at the sweet angel. This is the two of them together. This is how close Mandy and Bagel were. And when Mandy used to go to Doggy Daycare, they would take photos and post her, and they were all like photo shoots. So this is one. This was just from Doggy Daycare. This is another. And then finally I posted one, and I said, oh my God, it looks like Mandy's headshot. And then my friend Richard Rowland turned it into a headshot from the 90s. Isn't that hilarious? I love the no last name.
And the weirdest thing, and it really was the weirdest thing, was when we first adopted Mandy. She weighed a little bit less. She was still a puppy, which wasn't even a year old. And Seth and I went to Chase to the ATM, and one of the people that was there, we were going in and they were coming out, and they said, "Is that a doe? Is that a deer?" They literally thought that Mandy was a doe, as in a deer.
The person literally said to me, "Is that a deer? Sorry, is that a doe?"
Yeah, that's right.
It was so I made a mistake. Let me qualify. I'm like, it's neither.
Yes.
Is that a deer? Sorry, is that a doe? No,
So-
I'm not walking a doe.
Yes. So when Mandy would have a deer-like appearance, we would say that for the rest of her life. So let's show another clip.
Yes. Okay.
Or do you want to go back to doing? Maybe we should read some donations.
Oh, we should do that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Where are we?
Where were we?
I think we were on Helene.
We've gotten so many wonderful
So go
ones.
Go down after David, after
Thank you,
CL.
Jimmy.
There we go.
She donated
She was an awesome puppy. My comment, this high is in honor of all the smiles Mandy gave us during all the live streams from the Rudetsky-Wesley family. Run, free, pretty girl, lots of love. Helene Bear, $18. Thank you. I just made a $25 donation in Mandy's memory. Love you guys. Thank you for sharing the memories. Donna in Ohio. Thank you, Donna. Can you
By the way,
scroll
David
down,
just
Seth?
texted, once you finish reading donations, they've raised so much in just the last hour. I'm going to read how much we raised just in the last hour for ACC.
Amazing. Well, let's keep reading.
Scrolling, sorry.
Okay, right there, honey. $50 donation in honor of Mandy Rudetsky-Wesley. You gave her a wonderful, happy life. May her memory be a blessing. Deborah. Thank you, Deborah. Seth James and Julie, I'm sorry. So sorry for your loss. We all fell in love with Mandy and Bagel during lockdown. My dogs and cats joined me in sending you hugs. Glad to share in your Mandy memory night. Cheryl, $40. Amy from Michigan gave $25. Seth, next.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll scroll right now.
Dear Seth, James, and Julie, sending loads of love and happy memories of Mandy. We'll never look at broccoli without thinking of her. David, in a minute when I'm done with this, maybe we'll take a break so that people will know what we're talking about here. We'll never look at broccoli without thinking of her. Picturing her running happy and free with the rest of those that we've all loved and lost. All my love, Lori from Texas, $25. So David, come on the screen for a second, because we did this. Remind me, which is the one where we talk about broccoli in the video clip?
I think there's two. I think the RBG one, and then.
Okay, so hold on. So stay on, David. So because when David and I were shaping the show, and then Seth was giving his ideas, I said I want to there were so many important days, like I said a minute ago, and one of them was the passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And so if you remember, those of you who are the Sith Core fam, and we did it really last minute, we put it together and just roll it, because the broccoli aspect comes in. And this was very typical Mandy. So go.
Inauguration day in 2017. And we had posters.
Continue, because Mandy's going to drive me crazy.
It was a concert we did all over the country to raise money for 5 nonprofits. We did it every month all over the country, and we'd always have these beautiful posters signed. So James came up with this idea. He said, to honor Ruth Bader Ginsburg, hashtag honor RBG. James, do not give her fattening food. I'm giving her broccoli. Okay, broccoli, because poor Mandy's getting overweight, because whenever we want to quiet her, we just ply her with food. Anyway.
David, what was the other broccoli one?
The inauguration clip from the inauguration. Replay. Here we go.
So saying we at the beginning, we didn't have the beginning yet, or Shelley and Jabari didn't have the beginning yet, and so you basically, what did you tell me, Shelley, that you needed for me to shoot for stuff?
So one of their directions was from Ricky and the team was that they didn't want to start from black, and you couldn't end in black. So I was like, okay, so we should start with piano, and we should start with hands on piano. We should pull out and then go into candid, so that there's kind of an organic, what are we looking at, right? So we're not just here's a face, right? So that's so this is all happening on Tuesday while you're trying to do the mixes. I was like, you got to capture, give me 5 seconds of Seth playing at the piano.
And I have to do my radio show at 3:00, and it was 10 to 3.
So I decided I was going to channel Andy Carl and do my best creative work from the key.
Yes.
Shelley told me what to do, and then I shot it, and then I didn't quite like it, and then I realized, if this is going to be seen by millions of people, and this is the one little shot. Let's try to cram I'll try to cram as much as I can. Except there's broccoli downstairs.
I'm giving her broccoli.
Broccoli.
Right now.
As much as I can into that shot.
It was so relentless.
Oh my God! Because we would see Mandy on the couch behind, and we can see it in the camera, see it in the monitor, and so yes, broccoli became it. Okay, next donation. So sorry for your loss, James and Seth. Sending you love and light during this time. Hope your memories of her are a comfort to you. Susan from Pennsylvania, $50. Thank you, Susan.
Oh, and look at this, the doggy wrote.
I don't have money, but I have lots of love. I miss seeing Mandy on my mommy's screen. I know she's running free somewhere. Finish reading it.
Over the Rainbow Bridge, playing with her friends and having fun. I'm sending you all wet kisses. River, a.k.a. River the Muppet.
We got another donation. This is from Nathan. $30 in memory of the late and lovable Mandy Rudetsky-Wesley. Hugs to all of Mandy's family and friends, especially to James, Julie, and Seth for your loss, even though a bit of your heart is breaking. I hope it will be mended with the mutual love you gave and Mandy had for you. Yeah, it is helpful.
We were so sorry to see the news about Mandy. It was a joy to get to know her through her magnificent walk-on appearances on Stars in the House, none of which were planned except in those early days when they were planned.
Right.
It's always rough to say goodbye, but somehow our sweet pups always make our hearts larger. I think that's why mine is breaking so much. So there's room for even more love. Hold on. In our lives when they say goodbye. Our current boy Charlie joined our family a year ago from English Springer Rescue America, and he has stolen our hearts. Our love, Nancy Wilkinson and Susan Phillips and Charlie. Hold on, Seth, go back to private chat if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
$25. I love this. From Jane and Mary, the lesbians from the Portugal and Spain trip. That was our
Broadway cruise.
Yes, our Broadway cruise.
And it was a Broadway cruise, and quite frankly, it's a lot of married couples and a lot of gay men. So when you see a lesbian on a Broadway cruise, it's like, huh?
And that's from Jane Bryden, $100. Thank you, Jane. CPDTCSAT, Certified Professional Dog Trainer and Certified
Separation Anxiety Trainer. Boy, do we need that.
Jane, we may be calling you because Bagel's been his anxiety's has been higher over the last maybe year or so, but since Mandy passed, it's definitely
when we leave the house, he literally barks the entire time.
Yeah.
Can you?
And Lou, if you're watching, because I asked Lou to watch, our neighbor. Lou, if you're watching, thank you.
Yeah.
For
but can you contact us, please? Because
yeah,
the anxiety, the bark, we have a Ring camera on it, but we don't know what to do. So we'll talk to the Ring camera, being like, Bagel, please stop barking. And she's like, bark,
yeah, he'll just keep barking. Laura Garcia from Texas. There he is, barking, $25. James and Seth from our pack tours, sending love during the season of grief and gratitude. Susan B, $100. I feel the same heartbreak as I lost Daisy and Max this spring and have no pets in my quiet house. We love trying to spot the babies on the couch when we watched all those pandemic episodes. Thanks for being born. The pain you feel is the chunk of your heart she's taken with you to keep until y'all meet again. The hole in your heart will heal as more animals enter to share your love. Cry as often as you need. Hold your other babies and help them through their hurt too. Nan, $25.
Just, we were talking about how much Mandy loves to go for walks in the park. Here she is glaring at a raccoon.
Yes.
Can you see that raccoon? And then would I have another, hold on, going through the park. 1 second, please. Hold, please.
Hi, Romeo.
Hi, Romeo. Oh, here she is in the park. She just, she loved her walks. And I said that. Don't forget to vote. Hold on, one more.
I think that's it, Seth.
I know. I'm surprised, but I know that I had an
Can you go back with the
I
donations
can.
back on?
1, 2, 3, go.
Private chat. Okay. Go down. James and Seth, I have no words. It is so hard to lose them. Time after time, you rise up to help others, no matter how much you are hurting. Thank you for being such an inspiration, David in Florida. $100. Thank you, David. Let's see. Mandy was such a sweet girl and always an active participant in game nights. Thank you for sharing your story so that others may advocate for their families. We lost our cat, Sweet Pete, 3 weeks ago tomorrow to cancer. I'm so sorry. Just 5 days after he was diagnosed. They are loved, and we are so thankful that we were his family, just as we are sure that you are so thankful that you were Mandy's.
May Mandy's memory be a blessing, which is, a Jewish expression. Heather and Eugene in NYC, and it's double high. Jimmy, should we just close with a video? Is there any other important video?
Let's scroll down. Go to the brand. Go to the brand.
Okay.
Yeah, well, did you say that David had texted you something?
Oh,
you should do that.
I forgot. Thank you, honey, for reminding me. So far for the Animal Care Center, wow, we have raised over $1,000. Just in the last hour and a half.
Yay.
Oh, Emily's applauding. How
keep it coming.
Amazing
in Mandy's memory. So let's just see, Seth.
I need to show.
I
think this may be my slow motion frisbee video.
But you know what? But hold on, Seth. Before you do that, there's a 10-second Mandy inauguration video, because as you heard on that longer video where the broccoli was mentioned, it was a lot of setup for the piano, and we had I shot, and this was, by the way, on January 20th, maybe around 1 or 2 p.m. and it's being shown that night on television.
It was for Biden's inauguration because we
for
did
Biden and Kamala Harris' inauguration.
We did Seasons of Love. It's Let the Sunshine In, and I was the pianist for it, and we all put it together. So the very opening shot is me playing the piano, and James said, "Let's really make this memorial, so for all history, everyone will sort of be honored. That's part of our lives."
So my grandparents and Seth's family and my mom and his mom and Maggie, and we had a picture of Mandy and a painting that Julie had done. So Seth,
just within that 2-second period, we got that shot on.
So
1,
David
2, 3.
Backflip?
Oh, yeah,
That's so
that you really
great.
saw it. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so great. So wait, I found this. I think this is the slow motion Mandy catching.
Oh,
Frisbee.
good. Okay.
Good girl for the Summer Olympics.
Yes, that's right.
All right. Oh, what is this? Upstate
Oh,
Fun.
well, this is just to show that Mandy was the herder dog. This is at our house where we did start.
Because she was hurt, HERD. She was constantly. She wouldn't necessarily play with the dog. She's like, I'm in charge because she was.
So she's at Julie's room first, and then she's like going down. You'll see. Mandy Lou. That was a typical multi-day occurrence or multi-occurrence in one day of Mandy. All right, Seth, what do we want to close with?
I guess, let me just make sure there's nothing. Oh, what's this? Mandy on my concert. Anything I need to know about?
No. Well, you know what? It's actually cute. So play this.
I will say, by the way, this is a great toy to get for your doggy. Mandy loved this toy. This
oh, yeah. Great. This is
Look
great.
Look at her go.
Mandy
open
used
it.
that, Dr. Krieger, until like literally she still played with that until like the week before she died.
January 6th.
Oh, hold on.
Hold on. She wants to come on.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, you're on mute. Okay, there you go.
Nola has that toy too.
No.
Yes.
It's the best.
Mandy, that was her favorite.
I love puzzle toys. They're so fun. They're so great. But yes, I was like, oh, I know that toy.
Yes, Mandy loved it.
Hold on, I'm looking for one more.
Hold on, Seth. So we're gonna show one last thing. What are we showing, Seth?
Well, I was gonna
because Dr. Krieger's still on. Do you want to?
I wanted to show that time, but
I don't know. Seth's over here on the side.
Yeah, hold on one second.
So hold on, Dr. Krieger.
Yeah.
Thank you for staying on.
Yeah.
It's
oh
really.
my God! Yeah, it's my pleasure.
We loved it. Okay, we're gonna wrap up. I think Seth has one more video. Thank you all for giving. Dr. Krieger, you're gonna look us up when you're when all of you are going to the city. So hopefully we'll see you. And we're gonna close. So Dr. Krieger, we'll see you, I'm sure, another time. Bye. And Seth, you're gonna show
just sent
something.
David, I just sent you something. If you can send it, I don't know if you're gonna be able to get it.
But show this. This was one of the things, Seth, while David's getting that, because Seth did for the first, when we moved in here in 2021, you started doing your virtual concert series.
Yes.
But with people here live. And Mandy was upstairs, and Mandy, didn't matter how much belting was going on, she would just, for the most
She
part,
wanted to be part of it. She loved music.
She
Remember,
wasn't
came
coming down. She was upstairs sleeping.
Oh, that time.
And that's what this is. So play
this
that.
when she was there because she would have. She'd love to
She
be
came
down
down,
here.
yeah. She came down sometimes too. But I'm gonna play it because you gotta, Mandy during.
That's the cutest thing, and I'll just show this to you because I just want people to again know. Oh, David's loading it. Just again, because I do feel every time we say, "Oh, man is in chemo," that there was a lot of like, we went to this animal shelter. I'd say whenever we do our Broadway cruise, we always go to animal shelters, and that's why we got Mateo from Puerto Rico, and that's why we got Chrissy from Aruba. But the woman running it, she was like, I've had a lot of dogs, and when my dogs are diagnosed with something, I don't want my dog to suffer. I'm like, who does? And she's like, and maybe I put them down before their time. I'm like, you sound like a horrible person. So my point is, like, maybe it's just called you kill them. But my point is, I want people to know, like,
oh my God.
Yeah, it was horrific. So my point is, this is a video. Did you just put it in, David? I can't tell. Okay, this is the video. This is maybe a week before she passed away. So she was not suffering. This is Mandy having a great time.
Mandy.
I know.
Mandy Lou. Mandy Lou.
Oh my God! Well, I want some of whatever y'all are giving me.
Mandy Lou. It was one of those things, Dr. Krieger. I'm going to bring you back on because this is I want to ask you. So we were told because we knew that most likely she'd be dying of a bleed and not cancer. It would be a related cause, and we knew that we needed to be not gentle, but not cause a bleed. But it was hard to not do those sorts of things.
We feel guilty about that.
And I bring it up because there's a little bit of guilt that I have of
did we cause
a bleed?
No, bleeds are going to happen whether you cause them or not. They just happen. It's because cancer is very fragile. And so it can bleed at any time. Play with your pets with cancer. Let them do their favorite things. That's the whole point of it. They should do what they want to do and go out with a bang if that's what it's going to be. But to be honest, there's nothing that you guys could have ever done to have caused that to happen. So don't feel guilty about it. She was happy.
I mean, that really was the week before she died.
Oh yeah.
I think
it was the Sunday or the Saturday.
Yeah.
She died on a Friday.
It was the weekend before. That's what she was doing. I mean, that's how active she was.
Yeah. That's how active she was. She was living and loving her life.
Yeah.
We were not making her
a bit slower.
No, you weren't making her suffer. That's also not my job. What do you think? I just sit around all day and I plot? I'm like, how can this dog feel worse? What? That's not my job.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Krieger. I said I wasn't going to bring you back on, but there you go. Thank you. Okay, we had to. So what do you want to, is that it, Seth? Or do you?
Oh, we got one more donation.
Sending hugs and love from the Daneman family, Noah, $100.
Oh, thank you, Noah.
Gosh, the donations have been amazing. And I know most people watch our show not live. So please, you heard at the beginning of the show, if you've been with us now almost 2 hours, typical stars of the house. But Animal Care Centers of New York City is so wonderful, and please continue to give. If you're not watching this live in Mandy's memory, you can go through starsinthehouse.com, and the link will go directly to ACC, or you can go to their website. Yes,
and by the way, one thing I forgot to say is they also take donations. Hold on, Dr. Krieger wants to say one more thing. Hold on. Yes,
I forgot to tell you this, and I feel like now we're in the depths of this show. Guess who did Mandy's aspirates?
Well, you said you were
very beginning to get the diagnosis.
Guess who you mean? Because you said you were going to stand next to the person doing the aspirate. Who?
It's my husband.
The person doing the aspirate was Mr. Krieger?
Mr. Pedro Lopez Bento, doctor.
There you go.
Oh, that's so.
It was a family affair.
Like us.
Oh, that's why you felt really confident, because you knew.
Well, also I was like, you better get that.
It worked.
But I forgot to tell you that. Okay, back to ACC. Donate lots of money.
Okay,
Oh my God, I love that.
So Seth, I think that we should close.
What do you think? I was thinking inauguration of Georgia, but what do you
I was going to say Georgia.
Yeah.
So
she's
yeah,
in that at the end, right?
Yeah, we have it.
No, I'm
yeah.
saying she's at the end of the bed.
Yeah. So we want to close because we like closing with songs.
And we're talking about the election coming up.
Yeah.
And this was to help. There was a runoff in Georgia, and we wanted to make sure everybody voted because, as we know, not politically, but there's a lot of voter suppression out there, and we wanted to make sure that everyone was voting. So we did the song Georgia.
Yeah, we did it. We did it with Michael McElroy and Shelley Williams and Audra McDonald.
Michael McElroy and Joe Joubert came up with the amazing arrangement.
Oh my God.
Shelley Williams directed
Gorgeous.
it. Amazing. Jabari Payne
did the video.
And
it was shown. This video, we did it. It was all virtual, of course.
Shelby Rasher, by the way, did the mixing.
Thank
with
you.
me.
Yes, wonderful Shelby. And it was shown like all over the state of Georgia. There were trucks that were going into neighborhoods where the video was being shown
on the side of the truck.
On the side of the truck to encourage everyone to vote in the runoff, which was of course January 5th, the day before January 6th, 2021. And we know the results of that election of those two runoffs. And we had to put Mandy in it.
And this video just
you
side
just see
note,
it a little. You just see it a
you
little.
see Mandy right at the end, and there's
And
just
Bagel's in
something
it.
and Bagel, but there's something a little fun for you Broadway fans. We always felt that without Rent there wouldn't be Hamilton. So you see a connection we put together. It's like original cast members from Rent, original cast members from Hamilton, and then we also feel Leslie Uggams was like kind of the OG woman of color Broadway lead. So you see all these women of color ending with Leslie Uggams. So we did all these sort of like tips of the hat within the video.
Yes. But
anything else? But you're going to see Manny at the end singing with us.
Yeah, you see it as Jabari did it, and Shelley worked on it. It's like you see it here, and it's typical Mandy licking us.
So we're trying to sing, and she's licking,
and Bagel wanting to get in there, and so it's just we literally just filmed it in the corner of our bedroom upstate, and then you see it expand. I think it's really beautiful, and we are so looking forward to coming back into your homes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, beginning on Labor Day.
You can always share this video, by the way, right now.
Yeah, please share the video and like.
Subscribe.
And Julie, look at that. Thank you.
Julie, our daughter.
That's her daughter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And please subscribe, Julie. Please subscribe. And by the way, the other thing I was going to say, I forgot to say, is that if you can't donate money, shelters need things like I just bought a ton of sheets and blankets, as Dr. Krieger is saying. They really need that kind of stuff. There's just these basic needs that shelters need, like just quilts and towels. So please do that. And come watch us. And
that's right. And we'll be back and we'll just go. I'm just going to go ahead and promote. You've got a show, actually, Dr. Krieger. I just realized he's got a show this Saturday
in Asbury Park.
In near Asbury Park.
Yeah, in Homedale, New Jersey, at the Bell Theater.
And I think he gets some comps.
Yes, but only for people that save lives. So
there you go. You're in. You and your husband are in.
So it's Manny Gonzalez from In the Heights and Wicked.
That's this Saturday.
Yeah, in Hamilton. It's just going to be in Sunset Boulevard. It's this Saturday at the Bell Theater, Bellworks, Homedale, New Jersey.
There you go. Oh, David just put it up.
Oh, there it is. Me and Manny Gonzalez.
Yes.
So yes, Queen. That's Krieger. I'll be in touch. And that needle aspirate person that you live with.
So David, let's play the Georgia video, and then you can just cut us out and in video. And then we will see all of you
post Labor Day.
Post Labor Day, yes.
Subscribe and share this video. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Krieger.
Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. I said Georgia, a song of you, comes as sweet and clear as moonlight through the pine. other eyes. Smile tenderly, still in peaceful dreams. I see the road leads back to you. Back to you. An old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.